Alright, hi everyone, I'm Tracy and welcome to today's video. So I've been wanting to do something like this for a long time, like demo all of my blush brushes or eye brushes or something like that, but I just didn't have the confidence to take on such an ambitious task. But I'll tell you, I was inspired yesterday when I watched a video by Nikki LaRose. I'll link her channel down below. I really like her videos. Her tutorials are really good. Product reviews are really good. And she demoed every blush that Sephora carries. So in one sitting. So I figured I can do the blush brush version of that. So it's going to be a long one. I have a lot of brushes I'm going to be demoing. And I had to cut back a little. Like I can't include every single one because I just think that the video would be too long and it's just a little bit daunting to me. So I'll go over the brands that I am going to do, and I'm not going to be doing, I didn't include any limited edition or discontinued brushes. And okay, I'll tell you the brands that I'm planning to do. Houkodou, Bisyodo, Houkodou, Chikuhodo, Muragishi Sangyo, Chikuhodo, and Koyudo. And it's about 26 brushes. And if all is well, I'll go into a Rephr and Sonia G. But with Sonia G and Rephr, I kind of like doing their own. Yeah, so if you guys want to see all of my like Sonia G and Rephr blush brushes, I can do that. But I'll try to get through them as well today. Okay, and then in between, I'm going to be using foundation to cover everything up, and hopefully that will like give me a clean canvas. I'm using the NARS Naturally Longwear Foundation in Fiji. Okay, so I have all my makeup done except for bronzer and blush. I did a little contour like underneath my foundation, so hopefully that doesn't like get in the way. And I'm gonna use two sides because when I was watching Nikki do this, she used one cheek and she said her cheek was so sore from applying. She did like 50 something blushes. Crazy, yeah. So I'm gonna alternate just so I don't ruin my skin. All right, I'm going to start out with my Houkodou brushes. This is the brand that I have the most brushes from, and especially blush brushes. And I'm going to start out with the Houkodou J110, which is their most popular blush brush. And I'm going to try to keep it all like consistent. I'm going to be using the Hourglass Mood Exposure blush. I try to pick something that I thought, you know, would look nice, but also one that many of you guys might have, and something that I think will show up. So it's kind of a neutral but like a plummy blush and very universal if you haven't tried this one yet. So all right, let's get started. I'm going to zoom you guys in a little, and I think that will, yeah, you'll be able to see better with this. So starting out with the Houkodou J110, I'm going to really try to layer it on there. So this is one of my first blush brushes that I really like fell in love with. It's a really good staple to have. It's kind of in between. It's not really fluffy and it's not dense. It's just a very kind of, you know, standard pinch ferrule blush brush, but it's a really good one. Very good for beginners. So that's the J110. Compare the, I just thought of this. I'm going to compare the 507s next to each other. So yeah, I'll be doing these two next, the B507 and the G507. So then on this side, I'll use the Chikuhodo Yachio medium. Now this one sheds a lot, so I apologize if hairs come out. I have not used this brush for some time, mainly because of the shedding. So yeah, I actually really like how that came out. I would say this one's a little bit more concentrated. I don't recommend this one, the J110. I definitely do. I think my blush always looks so good when I use the B110. All right, so covering. All right, next I'm going to do the Houkodou B507 and the G507. So these are the same style. These are some of my favorite brushes to do blush with. And this one is goat and squirrel hair, and this is just goat hair. So I'll start out with the mix. And this is one of my, I would say, top 5 favorite blush brushes. It's just, it gives such a like airbrushed, like diffused look to your blush. You know, if you want to treat yourself, I think this is a good way to go. See how beautifully everything goes on with this blush? I mean, I just use this for blush, but I'm always so pleased with how it turns out with this one. Same with this one. I'll see if I can tell the difference between the mixed hair and the just goat hair version. And what I like about, especially the mixed hair brush, you don't have to swirl. It already looks blended. I feel like the mixed hair version went on a little bit smoother. Just the goat hair one came out a little bit stronger where I patted it, but both are amazing, amazing blush brushes. All right, and then I'm gonna now go into these longer floppy blush brushes. All right, now I'm gonna do the Chikuhodo G5538 and the G5537. Again, some of my favorite blush brushes for a light blush application. This one is, you know, obviously shorter, and the 5537 is longer. I love both of them. I would say the 5538 is one that I use a little bit more. So this one, if you want your blush to show, you have to build it up. And this is how I use these types of brushes. I swipe. So if I'm looking to get like a kind of like a flushed look in like a bigger area, this is the type of brush that I pick up. I highly recommend this one if you're ordering from Chikuhodo. It's very fairly priced and just such a joy to use. Okay, now here's a 5537, the longer one. I tried to have all my brushes washed, but this one was not. So yeah, the 5537 is going to be a little bit lighter, but both give that really soft, you know, diffused, natural blush look. So 553 and 5537. I would say the 553 might be a little bit more useful. You can also use it to powder, but both beautiful, beautiful brushes. All right, and then I'm gonna come back with the mixed hair blush brushes that I have. All right, so now I'm gonna demo the Houkodou round tapered mixed hair brushes. This is the B5521 and this is the G6530. They have a 6540 that's in between these two sizes, and they have a longer one that's the 103 style, but these are the two that I have. And I'll start with the smaller one on this side. So this one will give a little bit of a stronger application, but allow you to be very precise. It's actually giving a really, really beautiful light application. It's also a good highlighter brush. All right, now the 6530. Both of these are very versatile. These two. Love both of them. I would say the 6530 is a lighter, larger area, and the 5521 it's actually equally as light, just covers a smaller area. I recommend both. All right, so now I'm going to be showing the G5545 and the B512, both goat and squirrel mixes. And this one, the 5545, I have the larger in this paddle shape, but I don't think I've ever used those for blush. I've used them for powder, so I'll try. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to demo the ones that I think are good for blush. So here goes the 5545. This is one of my all-time favorite blush brushes too. And I pat with this one. Very light application, and this is a very versatile brush as well because you can use it for highlighter, you can use it to powder. See how beautiful that goes on. And then I'll do the B512. This one I tend to use for bronzer, but it also is good for blush. And I swipe with this one. Both beautiful blush brushes. I would say the 5545 is a very light application, and the 512 gives a little bit more structure to your blush, like a little definition. All right, and then I'm going to move to the larger angled mixed hair brushes, these. So my skin is already feeling sore, like chafed from all of this blush and foundation application. So, but I'm going to power through as long as I can. Okay, so we're going to do the Houkodou G5544 and the G5542. So these are the same shape, but the 5542 is denser and a little wider, but I believe the length is the same. I tend to use these for bronzer, but these brushes are so good that they're great for blush too. So on the smaller one, the 5544, and this one's going to apply product lighter because it's a very airy brush. I love this one, especially for bronzer. All right, and then the 5542. think they look very similar. Both very beautiful. Gives you that airbrushed look. And I love both of these. These are really great, especially if you're starting out and you want to start using powder bronzer, but you're afraid that it's going to go on too heavy. These two are like foolproof. Like it's almost impossible to overdo things with these two. So that is going to do it for my Houkodou brushes. So now I'm going to move on to my Bisyodo blush brushes. Alright, so we're going to start with the Houkodou Bisyodo blush brushes that I have. And I'm going to start out with the BC1 and compare that to the GC1. So these are the same style. This is the long series dyed goat hair, and this is the grand series. So this is made of gray squirrel hair. So I'll be doing side by side so you guys can see the difference. And these are both amazing for blush. Alright, so and then the grand series, I'm going to do it on this side. So the squirrel hair is going to provide a lighter, more gradual application. So the long series and the grand series. I think both very beautiful. The grand series is less, you know, applies less, but you can easily build up with this one. I'll put a little bit more. Alright, continuing with Bisyodo, I'm going to be doing the BH1 and the BH2. So these are technically highlighting brushes, but I think these are better as blush brushes. So this is the round tapered style, and this is the angled one. So I'll start with the tapered one on this side. And my skin is really starting to take a beating, so I'm going to try to get through as many as possible. And then the BH2 on this side. So I think both brushes did a really nice job. On the lighter side, I would say, but these brushes, you can easily build up the intensity very, very quickly. So the round tapered on this side and the angled one on this side. Alright, and then I'm going to continue on with my Houkodou blush brushes. Alright, so continuing on with my Houkodou blush brushes, I'm going to do the GC2 and the GC6. So this is the pinched ferrule, and this is the round domed one from the Sora series. Both beautiful brushes. The GC6 I tend to use to contour with bronzer, but I think this is also a good blush brush. I can't remember if I've used it for blush, but I'll use the flat one on this side and the round one on this side. And both of these are going to really very, very lightly. I would say the GC2 is probably one of the lightest applications that I have. and then the GC6. So they look kind of similar. I would say the domed one, if you want to be a little more specific, this one will be good, but the GC2 is one of the most gentle, gradual brushes that you can use if you're very fair and you're not looking to look like a clown. I think this is a really good one to have. And this one, the GC6, I think it did the blush well, but I do think it's better for contouring with this one. But both beautiful brushes, very high quality, very soft, very beautiful. All right, now I'm gonna just mention, I'm not gonna demo the GF2. I'm sure this is a good blush brush. I don't know if I've used it for blush. It's technically a powder brush, but it's a good bronzer brush. So if you guys want to see a bronzer brush video, I'll put this one in that one. But for now, I'm going to just skip it just for the sake of my skin. And then the next brand I'll be going into is Chikuhodo. All right, so I'm back. And I refreshed my makeup. I removed everything. It was starting to look a little cakey. So we're going to do the Chikuhodo Z8 and the Z4. These are both amazing brushes. I would say the Z8 is more useful. I would say this is one of my top 5 blush brushes. The Z4 is nice. I just want to preface it with mine is not bundled properly. You can't really tell. It doesn't affect the performance, but that kind of like discourages me from recommending the Z4. But the Z8 is a amazing blush brush. Both of them are very light, very soft on the skin, a joy to use. This is good if you are looking for a very light application. So the Z8 and then the Z4. So this is just, it's a smaller, more pinched style. I tend to use this for powdering. The Z4 and the Z8. Both really beautiful. I would say I recommend the Z8 over the Z4. Alright, so those are the only Chikuhodo blush brushes that I'm going to be talking about or demoing. I have some other ones like the winter set, but that is limited edition. And that's yeah, those are the only Chikuhodo blush brushes. I thought I had more, but I'm going to come back and demo the 2 Muragishi Sangyo blush brushes. Alright, so now we're going to do the Muragishi Sangyo blush brushes I have. And we're going to start with the Mai Sakura one on this side and the Hana Sakura on this side. They're both amazing. This one is a domed round ferrule and this one is a domed pinched ferrule. This one, the Hana Sakuda, I tend to use for powdering, but it's also an amazing blush brush. I think these are both good for a very pigmented formula because they apply just so lightly. I mean, a lot of them are, but especially these two. So the My Sakura on this side. I'm putting a little more than I normally do so you guys could see the product a little better. And then the Hana Sakura on this side. So this one and then this one. I think these are both amazing buys. They're still fairly priced, very well made. The Sakura design is not a true makie. It's a kind of like a sticker, just to let you guys know, but that helps with the cost. So I really do recommend both of these. They're beautiful. And then the larger one that comes in the My Sakura set, I use that for bronzer. So if you guys want a bronzer version of this, I can definitely do that, and I'll include that one in that video. All right, so we're on the home stretch, and these are going to be the last two I do. I just don't think my skin can handle any more blush and foundation application, but these are two really good ones and two that I highly recommend. I'll do the Chikuhodo KK003 on this side and the Chikuhodo P2 on this side. I forgot to mention also, I'm not doing my cream blush brushes just because that would have been so many more, but I can do a separate, actually I think I'll do a separate cream blush brush video, and yeah, just like divvy it up like that. So Chikuhodo on this side and then the Chikuhodo on this side. And the Chikuhodo, this is a very light, fluffy, pinched ferrule gray squirrel brush. It's also very, very versatile. You could powder with it and highlight with it too. A very light application as well. And then the Chikuhodo P2. I believe you can still get this on Fude Japan, and Fude Beauty has something kind of like it in a limited edition version. But I was not going to include it, but I believe you can still get this, even though it's technically discontinued. It's and it's such a great brush. I wanted to demo it for you guys. So Chikuhodo on this side, Chikuhodo on this side, and I'll just finally take my hair down. Okay, again, this one, I love both of these. I would say this one especially is one of my most gentle, lightest application brush, and then the Chikuhodo is kind of in the middle, but I highly recommend both of them. All right, so okay, that's gonna do it. I'm so sorry. I I don't want to ruin my skin by doing the Rephr and the Sonia G blush brushes, but if you guys want to see those, I could put that together, so just let me know and I will do that. And I think the next video will be my cream blush brush demo, so I can do that maybe like later this week if I have the time. So yeah, that's gonna do it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye.